The Giants completed their 10th and final organized team activity, OTA, here at the Quest Diagnostics Training Center on Friday. I am John Schmelk. He's Paul Dottino. And Paul, figured the last day we'll give the vets a bit of a break, a shortened practice in terms of competitive periods, just 10 competitive plays in the beginning of practice, mostly from the young players, the guys that have been with the second and third units. The starters and ones and the vets did some walkthrough stuff after that. A couple of nice catches, though, throughout the period.
Yeah, Lawrence Cager caught a nice bomb down the left sideline, was about 35, 40 yards downfield. So that was a real sweet one. And then I also thought Giles made a nice catch extending to reach up to grab one over the middle, which was a pretty sweet one as well, up from Tommy DeVito. I think, to be honest with you, though, John, I think it's a really good sign that Coach decided to go to the second half of the OTA as a walkthrough, because if he wasn't pleased and he wasn't happy by what he saw, he wouldn't have done that.
Giants had two new coordinators, Paul, in these OTAs. Shane Bowen, the defensive coordinator, and Michael Gabriel, the special teams coordinator. My impressions of the two guys very, very quickly is that both guys are more teachers than yellers. They like to bring the guys kind of aside and coach guys up individually. Both guys like to put themselves into the drills a lot, and they kind of get hands-on with the players. What were your impressions?
Yeah, I'd say they're very methodical. They're very direct. Teacher is a good word because you do see them doing some individual instruction as well. One thing for sure, they are not animated. And we've seen other coaches over the course of time who have been very vocal and very animated. You could hear them across the field. Not these guys.
We only have 2 more days of spring workouts next week, 2 days of mandatory minicamp. What's your overall impression coming out of the OTAs, and what are you looking for next week in minicamp?
Well, I think a lot of times we talk about in the springtime how the defensive backs or the wide receivers usually going to be the stars of the session. They have to be because there's no contact, John. So I think my impression right now is that the DBs had a better spring than the receivers early, but then the receivers had some better practices later.
Paul, we'll see you in minicamp next week.
We will.
Thanks for being with us for the final look at the Giants OTAs in 2024.